Okay, assignment number 1, sum and differences. If you are deciding whether you're going to use a 45 plus 30 or 45 minus 30 in finding the reference angle. So 165 degrees would be over here. So that leaves me with 15 degrees right there. So I would be using 45 minus 30. Okay, 285 degrees would be 270 past. So that's where that angle is located. So how many degrees are in between there? So you can do 360 minus 285 leaves me with 75 degrees. So I'm going to be using plus. 255. Okay, so that is located here. So how many degrees are in a reference angle? So 255 minus 180 would be that piece, and it leaves me with 75 degrees. So I would be using the plus. Okay, 23 pi over 12. Okay, so this would be 12 over 12, and the whole thing would be 24 over 12. So I don't quite go all the way. So I have pi over 12 in between there, which is a 15 degree, or in other words, I would subtract. 7 pi over 12. Okay, so this would be 6 over 12. So I go one more. So that would leave me with 5 pi over 12 there, right? Because the whole thing is 12 over 12. So that is a 75 degree angle. So you would add. Okay, 19 over 12. So 6, 12. This would be 18, right? Because each quarter is 6. So 18, 19 pi over 12. Okay, so in this zone I would have 5 pi over 12. Okay, how did I come about that algebraically? 24 pi over 12 minus 19 pi over 12. Okay, because that's 360, right? Because it's 2 pi's. So that leaves me with that. This is a 75, so I would be adding. Okay, so sine of pi over 12. So that would be right here. Okay, so we're going to do a subtracting. Okay, because that's 15 degrees. 45 subtract 30. Okay, here's a thing that we're going to write on the side, and then we can use it for everything. 45 degrees is the coordinate root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. And so this would be the cos of it, and this would be the sine of it. And 30 degrees, root 3 over 2, comma 1/2. This would be the cos, this would be the sine. Okay? So we're going to be using that for all these. Okay, so looking at my formula sheet, I'm going to be doing the sine of 45 subtract 30. Okay, so grab your formula sheet. So this one right here. So we got to take the sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. Okay, so I'm going to plug into this. So sine 45 cos 30 minus cos 45 sine 30. Okay, so that's where I'm getting that. Okay, and now we have them all labeled over here. Okay, so 45 sine is root 2 over 2. Cos 30 is root 3 over 2. 45 cos sine 30. Okay, so that's why I had that inside. We can use them for everything. This is a root 6 over 4 and a root 2 over 4. And I'm going to put them together. Root 6 minus root 2 over 4. Quadrant 1, using your Astica rules, sign needs to be positive, so we can leave it. Okay, sine of 105. So 105 is over here. So that leaves me with a 75 reference. So I'm going to do the 45 plus 30. Okay, so finding my formulas, I'm going to pick this one. So it goes sine 45, okay, cos 30 plus cos 45 sine 30. Okay, now I'll fill in because I've already have them labeled. So root 2 over 2 cos 30 plus cos 45. The 45s are nice. You can just do root 2 over 2 all the time. Doesn't matter. And sine 30 is 1/2. So this is root 6 plus root 2 all over 4. Now we are going to check out this quadrant 2. Sine in that quadrant is positive. So we're done. Okay. Now we're going to do a tan. So I'm going to do the tan of 45 for you here. Remember that tan is the y value divided by the x. So at 45 degrees, what happens when you take this y divided by that x, and they're the same? So it would equal 1. And the tan of 30 would be 1/2 divided by root 3 over 2, which I would reciprocate, right? Dividing fractions times flip. So 1 over root 3. Okay, so now I have that, those two values for 45 and 30. Okay, so 13 pi over 12 is there. So that leaves me with a reference of 15 degrees. So I'm going to be using a 45 subtract 30. Okay, so tan of a 45 subtract 30. So I need to find the formula, which is right here. Okay, so I'm going to go tan of 45 minus tan of 30 divided by 1 plus tan 45 tan 30. Okay, so tan 45 is 1. We already wrote that down. Tan 30, 1 over root 3. 1 plus 1 times 1 over root 3. Okay, so if I'm simplifying this, I would create a common denominator. So I would have to change this 1 into a root 3 over root 3. So this would be root 3 minus 1 over root 3. And same here, since this has a root 3 on the bottom, I'll change this to a root 3 over root 3 because it's 1. So I end up with root 3 plus 1 over root 3. Okay, when we divide this, we would flip it, and these would end up canceling. So I guess I could show you the long way here. Instead of dividing by this whole fraction, I'm going to times and flip. So So do you see how that cancels? And you're left with root 3 minus 1 over root 3 plus 1. Okay, check out your quadrant. Astica, this is positive. So now we just leave it. Okay, 285. So here we are. This would be a 75-degree angle reference. Okay, so I'm going to do cos of 45 plus 30. So again, I find the formula. So here's the formula. Cos, cos minus sine, sine. So cos, cos minus sine, sine. Okay, and now I fill in. So 1 is the cos value for 45. Cos of this, or sorry, what am I doing here? I'm doing the tan. Cos is root 2 over 2. Cos of this is root 3 over 2. The sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. The sine is 1/2. So root 6 minus root 2 over 4. In quadrant 4, cos is positive, so we leave it. Okay, question 7, secant. Okay, so where is this located? Right here. So my reference is a 75-degree angle. So I'm going to be adding. So I can't use secant, so I'm going to do cos. Okay, I'm picking 75 as a reference, and secant is the opposite of cos. Okay, so here we go, cos formula. Adding is right here. Cos, cos minus sine, sine. Okay, so root 2 over 2, root 3 over 2. Using those values that we've already predetermined, root 2 over 2 and 1/2 is root 6 minus root 2 over 4. Okay. Now we have a couple things. This is quadrant 2, so cos is negative. And because we're doing secant, we're going to flip. So negate and flip. Okay? Cos is the flip of secant. Okay, sine of 17 pi over 12 would be right here, so 75 degree. So I'm going to be doing sine of the adding. So sine 45 cos 30 plus cos 45 sine 30. Okay, root 2 over 2, root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2, 1/2 is root 6 plus root 2 over 4. In quadrant 3, sine is negative, however, so I'm going to negate that value. Okay, next, number 9, cosecant. So that's the opposite of sine. Okay, so I'm going to find the sine. 345 is over here with a 15-degree reference. So I'm going to subtract. So we're going to take sine 45 cos 30 minus cos 45 sine 30. Okay, so we're going to remember these values by the end of this. So root 6 minus root 2 over 4. And this is quadrant 4. So sine is negative here. And we still have to flip. So I'm going to negate and I'm going to flip. Okay, so cotangent is the opposite of tan. Okay, so we're going to do the tan and then we're going to flip it around. Okay, so 17 over 12 lands there with a 75-degree reference. So we're going to be doing the tan of 45 plus 30. Okay, so right here, tan A plus tan B. 1 minus tan A, tan B. Okay, so tan 45 is 1. Okay, remember we had these predetermined. Tan of 45, we already did that work. Tan of 30, we did that work. 1 over root 3. Okay, so again, I'm going to put this as a root 3 plus 1 over root 3 divided by, and then I'm going to put this as a root 3 over root 3, so root 3 minus 1 over root 3. Okay, when we divide, we're going to actually flip this over and times, and it would cancel. So this is what I'm doing. Okay, so that's what I have for the tan. So we got to flip this, and tan is positive. So we have to write our final answer just flipped. So root 3 minus 1 over root 3 plus 1. Okay, negative 19 over pi over 12. So where does this land? Okay, so we're going to go back 6, 12, 18, 19. So it lands there. It's a 75-degree reference. So secant is the opposite of cos. So you're going to be doing a cos of that. Okay, I'll let you fill that in. When you get done your work of your formula, you would get that. And quadrant 1, it's going to be positive, but because it's secant, we're going to flip it. Okay, and the last one on this page, 11 pi over 12 is right here.
Good morning, Millie teachers.
15.
Just a reminder that we are all online for the Zoom session this morning from 9 to 11:30.
Okay, so that's the reference.
Yesterday, so you have access to the Zoom link, as well as a link to the handouts if you want to print.
Okay, so once I use the formula, I get that.
I noted yesterday that it will not be her starting the session.
So it's negative.
Arranged provincially for a number of schools. So the green
Because it's quadrant 2. And I have to still times it by 4.
We will meet this afternoon at 1 in the cafeteria to continue our planning for remote learning.
Okay, and then the 4's cancel, so I just get negative. And if I want, I could also distribute that. Okay.